Hello and welcome to your training video on Introduction to Field Practicum Learning Agreement and Evaluation. It's your favorite training video narrator, Jamie, bringing you this training on behalf of the Field Education Program of the Social Work Department within Westfield State University. This video will cover briefly what you need to know to use the Field Practicum Learning Agreement and Evaluation and key points to pay attention to. Further instructions and details regarding expectations of the document will be covered in the field seminar courses. First things first, let's clarify the name of the document for you. BSW and MSW Foundation Field Practicum Learning Agreement and Evaluation, and MSW Advanced Field Practicum Learning Agreement and Evaluation. These forms hold a dual purpose and will be utilized to complete the Field Practicum Learning Agreement and your end of semester evaluations, hence the title. We have created one document that homes all three forms: Learning Agreement, Fall Evaluation, and Spring Evaluation. Please note, BSW, MSW Foundation, and MSW Advanced have different competencies with different observable behaviors, which is why there are two forms. Let's go over some background on the document before we move on. What is this? At the beginning of the internship, this document is utilized to develop the Learning Agreement. The document will build on itself over the course of the internship. For each observable behavior, a description will be developed of specific responsibilities, assignments, and activities that will be completed in your practicum to help you develop, practice, and demonstrate the associated competency. As the internship progresses, the information for the evaluation will become available. This allows for everyone to see and evaluate what was agreed upon in the learning agreement for both semester evaluations. Information never leaves the document. It remains for reference and evaluation of progress and development. Key points to pay attention to are document objectives and instructions. Please have an understanding of what the form is asking of you. If you don't, ask questions. It will only make it easier for you to complete as you continue throughout the various parts of the document. Again, the learning agreement, the fall evaluation, the spring evaluation, they build on each other. Competencies and observable behaviors. The activities you develop and document for each observable behavior in the learning agreement is the foundation for the rest of the document. Signatures. Every data field is mandatory. When you attempt to sign and have missed a field, the document will show you where the required field is needed. Save. The all-important save, which we'll cover more once we get over to IPT. With regard to the learning agreement, all parties are able to edit the form prior to the faculty field liaison signature. Whereas the evaluation, once you sign, you are unable to go back and edit your rating. Also, the evaluation text box related to a rating of less than 3 is required for the field instructor to document. However, the strategy for improvement is a collaborative process between the student and field instructor. Evaluation text box, NA, is required for the field instructor to document. However, should only be utilized and noted after consultation with the faculty field liaison. These two boxes that just were referenced will be much clearer once you see the actual form, so we'll reference them again when we're in IPT. The other piece to note is the form is color-coded. The hope is to assist with any sort of confusion. So when the evaluation is present, the fall one has pink and navy blue, and the spring evaluation is purple and teal. So at this point, let's head over to IPT and let's take a look at the form. I've gone to www.runipt.com, and that's brought me to our main login page. I'm going to use a test student login for this portion of the video. So click on Login. As mentioned in previous videos, all pertinent forms can be found in the My Forms section. Let's click in. And here is our form. As mentioned earlier, the learning agreement starts the document. I'll take you through quickly how the document builds on itself and reference key points to be aware of. Please follow up with your field instructor and/or faculty liaison for further guidance and instruction for completion of the document. At the top here, you'll see the title of the document. I want to make sure to point out to you in the BSW and MSW Foundation Field Practicum document, there is this spot right here, select. You need to click on this and pick which program you are in, BSW or MSW. You will not be able to sign off on this form if you forget to complete this section. So for the purpose of this, just going to pick MSW. As you'll see here, we have our demographic information. This will all pre-populate based on what we have in the system for you and the site. Next, as we move along, you'll see here we have competency-based education and document objectives. This is where it provides a brief summary of social work education being competency-based and what that means. Go down a little bit. We have here the learning agreement instructions. Please pay careful attention to right here, this middle paragraph. This explains what is being asked of you in the completion of this form. You'll also see this as we go along. The instructions kind of follow through for each competency. And next right here, we have practicum schedule and supervision. This is where you're going to detail out what has been discussed and decided on between you and your field instructor regarding schedule, how you're going to meet required hours, and plan for supervision. So the remainder of the form has the 9 competencies listed and their observable behaviors with them. Below each competency will be the observable behaviors and a text box for each. The observable behavior here. Here are the text box. This little symbol lets you know that it is an editable box and that this is where you are to put your information in. Click on that and you'll be able to type right in there and save and close, and it'll pop up for you. So once you've brainstormed with your field instructor, then as we just did in the text box for each observable behavior, please state clearly how your practicum responsibilities, assignments, activities will allow you to develop, practice, and demonstrate the competency. Please understand, in these text boxes, do not simply re-reference the observable behavior, but how you plan to accomplish each observable behavior at your setting. Once you've had the opportunity to document activities for the 9 competencies and associated observable behaviors, you will sign at the bottom of the document. As you're moving along through the form, please utilize the Save button at the bottom of the document. Let's go down here. Save is right here. Click on it, information saved to database. Without saving, the information you add in will not save. You don't want to lose the hard work you've completed. So we've gone down to the bottom of the document, and here we've reached our signature section. Once again, you've completed everything, you've reviewed it, you're going to come here, student signature, and click on learning agreement. That's going to allow you to complete your signature. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to attempt to sign the document, which I just did. As you'll see, I received this error message. Please complete the marked fields before signing the form. Every data field on this form is a required field. So if you don't fill in that section at the top, even the select, if you miss a text box, you will not be able to sign this form until all data fields have been filled in. Similar to the timesheet, once the student signs the form, IPT will generate an email notifying the field instructor that they have a document ready to be reviewed and signed. A new feature to note in the learning agreement, we now allow for all roles, student, field instructor, faculty liaison, to edit the form as many times as need be prior to the faculty liaison signing the form. With this, I cannot stress enough the importance of save. With the learning agreement allowing for edits, multiple edits, and or post-signature, save is going to be crucial. Make sure whenever you're coming into this form, into this document, you're utilizing save. You want your hard work to be recognized. You want it to remain in the system. You don't want to have to come back and redo it. Now we're going to take a look at the way in which the document develops and brings forth the evaluation components of the document. As you'll see, the top of the document remains the same. You still have your program here that you've selected. Your demographic information is there. Competency-based education, document objectives are there. What you'll notice now
is the learning agreement instructions have gone away and the evaluation instructions have come forth. So we have the student evaluation instructions and field instructor evaluation instructions. The practicum schedule and supervision remains. And you'll now have a detailed rating scale to utilize and reference as you're moving along through the evaluation. And you'll see here, the learning agreement and information you provided remains. If when the learning agreement was completed and signed by the faculty liaison, these text boxes wouldn't be editable. All that would be there is what was documented. As you'll see over here, the fall and spring evaluations are present. Please note, although the spring evaluation is present, it is unable to be completed until the completion of the fall evaluation and during the spring semester. The evaluation functions similarly to how it always has, in that the student must complete their self-evaluation first. The student initials at the end of the document, prompting IPT to generate an email to the field instructor for review and discussion. The student or field instructor is able to edit their evaluation at any point up until signature. For the evaluations, once you sign, you cannot go back and edit. It is not like the learning agreement. Click here. I'll show you. You have your ratings 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and A. For field instructors, some pieces to be mindful of. As mentioned earlier, the data text boxes below the observable behaviors. These boxes are to be completed by you, the field instructor, if the rating that you've given requires it. So if we were over here, as you'll see, the blue is for the field instructor. The field instructor had given a rating of a 1 or a 2. You would then be required to complete this first box, providing support for why the rating was given and agreed upon strategy for improvement. In the event that you needed to give an NA, this second box would be utilized, and only after you have consulted with the faculty field liaison. For either box, if you forget to complete it during the course of completing the evaluation, come signature time, the document will not allow you to sign, as they are required fields if the associated rating score is given. As mentioned, we have attempted to color code the document. For instance, field instructors, if it's the fall evaluation you're working on, you will be completing the navy blue boxes. In the spring, it would be teal. Students, you're looking at fall is pink and spring is purple. Field instructors, again, you're following that navy blue for the fall. So these would be your fall text boxes to complete. Given a certain rating, these would be your spring ones. So let's just move through to the bottom of the form. As you see, again, every competency, that learning agreement stays. What you would have inputted remains. Come down here. Part 2, field instructor narrative, right before the initials. This is a required field. Field instructors, please just provide a brief narrative for each semester evaluation. We discussed the initials. Student, once you've completed your self-evaluation, please initial. It does prompt the system to send an email to your field instructor. Field instructor as well, once you've completed your evaluation, you've completed your narrative, please complete the initial part so that way the student knows you've completed your section. You guys can come together. You can have a conversation about the evaluation prior to signing the document. As you'll see here down at the bottom, signatures, we too have tried to color code them and specifically via hyperlink what you're signing. For instance, right here, the student has fall evaluation, has the pink color coding. Field instructor, you'd have the navy blue. When you were in your role, it would say fall evaluation. Whenever you have a live hyperlink available to you, that means you are available to sign that. For purposes of this, again, there are required fields. If there is something that you have not completed, for instance, there are no ratings provided throughout this document. So the form is letting us know that these are required fields and that they need to be completed. Once you complete them, come back through, then you'll be able to sign. And although we focused on the fall evaluation, the spring one is completed the same exact way. The learning agreement will be present. The fall evaluations will be present. That way you have an opportunity to reflect on what you've written in the learning agreement, what was provided for the fall evaluation, reference them, reflect, and utilize them for completion of the spring. And with that, that's all I have for you regarding Field Practicum Learning Agreement and Evaluation. Please utilize your resources should you have any questions come time for completion, that be field instructors, faculty liaisons, the field education program, or reviewing this video again. Thanks for watching.